Okay, so hello everyone. So before we start today's lecture, let me ask you a simple question. If two patients comes to the hospital with fever and cough, why can one be treated at home and while the other need ICU admission? Think about it for a few seconds. So today, by the end of this lectures, you will know exactly why this happened. So welcome back to Exam Keeper in Dentistry. Today's topic is pneumonia, one of the most important topic in general medicine and a favorite in BDS University exam and Viva. So keep your notebook ready because I will explain everything in simple English with a diagram, clinical example and exam tip. So let's begin. So what is pneumonia? So student, before understanding pneumonia, we first need to understand how a normal lungs work. So inside our lungs, there are millions of the alveoli. So this is the tiny air alveoli, okay? And normally these alveoli contain only air. Now imagine one day bacteria enter the lungs like this. It will enter into the lungs. The body immunosystems immediately send the white blood cells to fight the infection. So during these fight, fluid, pus and inflammatory cells collect inside the alveoli. So this is all the inflammatory cell. This green color is an inflammatory, okay? So instead of being filled with air, the alveoli become filled with fluid. As a result, the oxygen cannot pass easily into the blood, and that is why the patient develop difficulty in breathing. So this condition is called pneumonia, which is an infection involving the lungs, parenchyma, that is the alveoli and distal airway, and interstitium of the lung. Okay. So, which structure is mainly affecting in pneumonia? The option are, first one is bronchi, second one is alveoli, third one is trachea, and fourth one is pleura. The correct answer is option B, that is the alveoli. So, remember this because it is frequently asked in Viva. Okay, now let's discuss what caused the pneumonia. So student, whenever we study infection, so always ask yourself one question. Which organism is responsible? So here the pneumonia is caused by the bacteria, virus and fungi. So bacteria causes, so the most common bacterial cause is the Streptococcus pneumonia. This is the most important organism for the exam, and the other bacteria include like Haemophilus influenza, Staphylococcus aureus, Mycoplasma pneumonia and the Chlamydia pneumonia. Okay. And the viral cause, so many patients first develop flu and later develop the pneumonia. It involves the influenza, that is a flu virus. Now the fungal, so it is usually seen in patients with a weak immunity. So example like histoplasmosis and coccidioidomycosis. Okay. So now we will see the categories of the pneumonia. So first one is community acquired pneumonia. So here you can see that here the person get ill outside of a hospital or the healthcare setting. That means that the infections develop in the everyday life. For example, like a college student develop fever, cough and chest pain while staying at home. He visit a doctor and is diagnosed with pneumonia. So this is called the community acquired pneumonia. So student, remember this, community acquired pneumonia is the most common type which is seen in clinical practice. Okay. So where did this patient acquire the infection? Inside the hospital? No, that is the outside the hospital. That is why it is called the community acquired pneumonia. Okay. Now the next one is ventilator associated pneumonia. So here the patient is connected to the ventilator. So what is the ventilator? So here it is a machine that helps the patient breathe. So a tube is inserted into the windpipe. Okay. So when the tube inside the airway develops a layer of the bacteria, which is called a biofilm. So these bacteria multiply on the tube, and because the patient cannot cough effectively, the bacteria enter the lungs and it produces the pneumonia. Okay. This is how the person get ventilator associated pneumonia. Now the third one is hospital acquired pneumonia. So here the patient is already admitted to the hospital for the another illness. So here the person already sick in hospital, and sick patient have weakened immune system. So after staying in the hospital, the patient develops the pneumonia. So why? Because hospitals contain the bacteria that are more resistant to the antibiotic, and also hospitalized patients usually have the weaker immunity. So for example, like A patient is admitted after a road traffic accident. So after 4 days, he developed the fever and the cough. So chest X-ray confirmed the pneumonia. So this is the hospital acquired pneumonia. Okay, so this is the community acquired pneumonia where you can see a person becomes sick outside the hospital. That is the community acquired pneumonia. And this is the ventilator associated pneumonia. So this patient is connecting to the ventilator, and here this tube which is inside the airway, it developed a layer of the bacteria called the biofilm. Okay, because the patient cannot cough effectively, here the bacteria enter the lungs and produce the pneumonia. Okay. And this is the hospital acquired pneumonia. Here the patient is already admitted to the hospital for the another illness. Okay, students, now we will see the stages of the pneumonia. So here it shows the pneumonia changes inside the lungs over the time, and it is arranged according to the number of days after the infection. So think of it as a story. Every stage tells us what is happening inside the lungs. Okay. So stage 1, that is the congestion. So it's a congestion, that is day 1 and day 2. So at this stage, bacteria have just entered the lungs. Our body immediately start fighting the infection, and the blood vessels become wider and inflammatory fluid begins to leak into the alveoli. Okay. So for example, like imagine a dry sponge. So when you pour water on it, it becomes wet and heavier. Exactly the same thing happens to the lungs during the congestion. Okay. So normally what happens, the alveoli as tiny balloons, they contain only air. Now these balloons start filling with the fluid, and there is still some air present, but fluid has starting collecting. The lungs become heavy and red because more blood is reaching the infecting area. Okay. Now stage 2, that is the red hepatization. So it's say day 3 and day 4, that is red hepatization. So student, this is a favorite Viva question. So first understand the word hepatization. So here the hepto means liver and hepatization means the lungs start looking like the liver. So why? Because the alveoli becomes completely filled with the red blood cell, neutrophils and fibrin, making the lungs more firm and solid. Okay. So instead of air, now the alveoli are packed with inflammatory cell. Since air is replaced by acidity, oxygens cannot enter properly. So that is why the patient develops severe breathlessness. The lungs becomes red, firm and liver-like, which explains the name red hepatization. Okay. Now stage 3, that is the gray hepatization. So it say that the day 5 to day 7. So student, now the lung is still firm, but now something important happen. Here the red blood cells begins to break down. Because of this, the lungs change color from red to green. Okay. So that you have noticed that here the inflammatory cells are still present, however pure intact red blood cells remain, and this color change is a main feature of the gray hepatization. Okay. Now the stage 4, that is a resolution. So that is day 8 to 3 weeks. So this is called resolution. So here the body immune cells remove the inflammatory material, and here the exudate is ingested and cough off, allowing the lungs to return toward the normal. Okay. So now the alveoli slowly become empty again, air return, oxygen exchange improve, and here the patient start recovering. Okay. So for example, like imagine cleaning a dirty room. First dust is collected, then you remove the dust. Finally, the room becomes clean again. So resolution is exactly like cleaning the lungs. Okay. Okay, now let's see the pathology of the pneumonia. So first one is lobar pneumonia. So here, look at the first picture. Can you see that the one entire lobe of the lung is affected? And that is why it is called the lobar pneumonia. So here it involves the consolidation of the whole lobe, and it is most commonly caused by the Streptococcus pneumonia. Okay. So for example, like imagine a mango. If one entire side becomes rotten, that resembles the lobar pneumonia. Okay. Now the second one is bronchopneumonia. So now move to the second picture. Here the infections begins in the terminal bronchi and spread into nearby alveoli. So it appears as a multiple scattered patches and may involve one or the more lobes. Okay. So instead of one large area, you can see many small infecting spots. So it look like raindrop scattered across the lung. So for example, like imagine you have splinking ink on paper. Instead of one large stain, you get many small spots, and that is the bronchopneumonia. Okay. Now the third one is intestinal pneumonia. So now look at the last picture. So here this type affecting the alveolar wall, that is the interstitium, and the patterns may be patchy or the diffuse. So this one is diffuse. So here the infection is not mainly inside the alveoli. Instead, it affecting the supporting tissue around them. So it is supporting tissue around them. It is affecting. So imagine the walls of a house becoming swollen while the rooms remain relatively empty. So that is similar to the interstitial pneumonia. Okay, inter means in between. So in between the alveoli. Okay, now student, we see the clinical manifestation. So if a patient has pneumonia, so what symptoms will you expect? So the symptoms are like fever with chills or regard, cough, that is a dry or the production as pus or blood stained sputum, dyspnea, that is a shortness of the breath, chest pain, systemic symptoms like fatigue and the fever. So clinical case like a 55-year-old smoker comes to your clinic. He has fever, producing cough with a yellow sputum, chest pain and difficulty breathing. So what disease will you suspect? That is the pneumonia. Okay. Okay, now student, let's confirm the diagnosis. So the first and the most important investigation is the chest X-ray. So look at the two X-ray patterns which is shown. So first one is lobar infiltration and the second one is interstitial infiltration. So lobar infiltration, one lobe appear white due to the consolidation, so commonly associated with the streptococcus pneumonia. And the second one, that is the interstitial infiltration, it is a diffuse and widespread infiltrate throughout the lungs, commonly associated with a viral or mycoplasma pneumonia according to this. Okay. Now the other investigation like sputum or the gram staining. So take the sample before starting any antibiotic. Next one is CPC, that is a complete blood count. Next one is serum procalcitonin level, PCR and open lung biopsy. So these are other investigation. Okay, so here now we see the treatment. So first one is CURB-65 score. So student, look carefully at the CURB-65. So this score helps doctor decide whether a patient can be treated at home or need hospitalization. So every letter in CURB-65 represent one clinical finding. So let's understand each one. So here C means confusion. So ask the patient simple question like, what is your name? Where are you? So if the patient is confused, then score 1 point. Second one is uremia, that is look at the blood test. If blood urea nitrogen is more than 20 mg per deciliter, then give 1 point. Third one is respiratory rate. So count the patient breathing. So if it is more than 30 breath per minute, then score 1 point. So normal adult breathe about 12 to 20 times per minute. Okay. Now the next one is blood pressure. So if blood pressure is less than 19 by 16 milligram mercury, then add 1 point. So low blood pressure indicate the severe illness. Now if the patient is 65 years or older, then score 1 point. Okay. So here for example, like imagine a 70-year-old patient, he is confused, respiratory rate is 34 by minute, blood pressure is 85 by 55 milligram per mercury. So how many points? So age is 1, confusion is 1, respiratory rate is 1, blood pressure is 1. So total is 4 points. So this patient need ICU admission according to this scoring. Okay. So here when score is 0 to 1, then treat as outpatient. When score is 2 to 3, then treat in hospital. When score is more than 3, then consider ICU admission. Okay. Okay, so now imagine a patient with a mild pneumonia. So here the CURB-65 score is 0 or 1. So this patient can usually treated at the home. So here what is the treatment? So it includes drug like amoxicillin, that is 500 milligrams orally every 8 hours, or doxycycline, that is 100 milligram orally twice daily, or azithromycin 500 milligram on day 1, then 250 milligram once daily for the next 4 days where it is appropriate. Okay. So for example, like a 25-year-old patient has fever and cough but is otherwise healthy. So here the CURB-65 score is 0. So this patient is suitable for the outpatient treatment. Okay. Now imagine the another patient. So he has difficulty breathing. So here the CURB-65 score is 2. So should he go to home? No, he should be admitted to the hospital. So here the inpatient treatment include ceftriaxone, that is 1 to 2 gram intravenous once daily, plus azithromycin, that is 500 milligram once daily. Or you can give ampicillin with a salbectam plus azithromycin, or alternative to this we can give also levofloxacin or moxifloxacin as a respiratory fluoroquinolone. Okay. So notice the change. At home, medicines are mainly oral tablets. In the hospitals, medicine are commonly given intravenously because the patient is more seriously ill. Okay. Okay, now look at the ICU treatment. So these are the patient with a severe pneumonia. So here the treatment include ceftriaxone. Ceftriaxone, ampicillin plus salbectam plus azithromycin, or you can give a beta-lactam plus levofloxacin or moxifloxacin. Okay, here the patient is unconscious, blood pressure is very low, oxygen level is falling, so this patient require ICU management. Okay, so student, antibiotics kill the bacteria, but the patient also needs the supporting care while recovery. So what is included? So here the supporting measures are like oxygen therapy, adequate hydration like oral and IV fluid, antipyretics, that is paracetamol, bronchodilators if bronchospasm is present, mechanical ventilation if respiratory failure develop. Okay. So clinically, example is like imagine a patient whose oxygen level is like only 85%. Will antibiotic increase the oxygen immediately? No. The patient first need oxygen therapy. So if the patient cannot breathe adequately on their own, so mechanical ventilations may be required. Okay. So that is the end of the today lecture on the pneumonia. I hope this topic is now much easier to understand. If this lecture helped you, then please like the video, share it with your classmate, and subscribe to Exam Keeper in Dentistry for more easy BDS lecture. An exam question for the day: a 68-year-old patient has confusion, respiratory rate of 32 per minute, and blood pressure is 88 by 58 milligram per mercury. So what is the CURB-65 score and where should this patient be managed? So write your answer in the comment and I will discuss in the next lecture. Thank you for the watching. See you in the next video.